Boys, Unicorn and the Wasp today.
Whoa!
Wowie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So once again, we're joined by our recurring guest, Daniel Ade.
Welcome
there he
to
is.
the show again, sir.
Hello, folks.
Thanks for joining us,
It's a pleasure to be back.
Woo.
Fantastic.
You know what? Before I forget, because I felt really bad last time when I didn't forget. I don't know. When I did forget. I don't know if you went and listened to our Gridlock episode, but I ended up adding in me giving your socials into the episode.
He did do
Yes, yeah,
So-
I did see that. Thank you.
Before I fucking forget, Dan, would you like to give your socials out to the world for where people can find you? Just advertise yourself,
well,
however you want.
As frequent viewers of the show know, and as fans of my guest appearances would know, I host a Connor with podcast. I host a podcast with Connor, I should say.
Nice.
And that's called For a Laugh on YouTube. For a Laugh. We got an Instagram. We got a Twitter. And we're on Spotify. We're on all audio platforms. Probably the one you're listening to this right now. And I have an Instagram, the Daniel Ade. That's also my Twitter. And then I have a YouTube channel, Daniel is Weird. That's myself.
Oh,
that will hopefully become more active very soon. So
You were prepared for that, hey? You were just
Man,
waiting
that
for
was
last time.
that was
yeah, I guess
professional.
I'm just it's got to be ready when you're a guest, you know.
So Connor's internet's been pretty shithouse as well. So
Well, it seems to be
we'll
better
see how we
now.
go. We'll play it by ear throughout this episode.
Yeah, it seems to be better. Like
It
I
does.
was sending down some audio because we had to film in lockdown this week from my house. I was sending down some For a Laugh podcast audio, and I totally forgot we were trying to connect to this Zoom call, and it was absolute shithouse. But now it seems to be better, which is good.
Very nice.
Woo!
Yo.
And we're almost out of lockdown as well on that note, hopefully.
Yeah, apparently it's ending tomorrow, so that's
Yeah, yeah.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Well, yeah, during this show, he'll announce the restrictions if there are any. So
Ah,
Yeah.
I see.
maybe there'll be a specific clause that says no in-person podcasting.
great. No pubs and no podcasting. The two P's.
Fuck. No PP.
No PP.
Damn.
It's a fucking lockdown.
I love that, Steve.
That's from the soundboard. So
I love Pete. I love Pete so much.
I love it.
Alrighty. Anyways, let's get into the show. Dan, you love our intro.
oh yes,
Yeah?
Favorite.
Let's skirt straight on into that one.
50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50%. Podcast. Hit that sting, Aiden.
That was the most delayed hit that sting, Connor.
I'm sorry, this internet is shit.
I love it, Aiden. Has it played?
It has played. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to edit Connor saying hit that
Fantastic.
sting after I put in the intro.
That's how long it took him.
Man, this internet is so shit.
Oh, I love it. No, that's a great intro. I need to get that. We need to get that composer on for our podcast. And
It's just me playing with an app.
He's a local talent.
Aiden, the
behind
next
that.
Sagan.
I mean, dude,
I am the
I
next
rap
Sagana
it.
Gamela.
Give me some credit. I rap that shit. So come on, like you know.
I did a rap.
Ah, I see.
I made.
I did a rap in
lyrics.
last week's episode and it was pretty good, I must say.
It was pretty
great.
good actually.
Oh,
I was listening
banger.
today, and it was actually
Banger.
pretty good.
I love that. I love to hear it. I love to see it.
Every week, every
Oh,
season, you know, Dan tend to joins us for the shit episodes, but this season there's not really
Yes.
any shit episodes.
Oh
That's
boy,
debatable.
Just-
Aiden. You won't
No, no,
like
no.
what I have to say today.
I'm not saying trust me, I didn't really think about this
I'm actually
episode
another
after I watched
podcast,
it. Like
folks.
it's so average, but I don't know if it's particularly.
yeah.
I don't think it's particularly bad. Like there's
Nah,
there's
yeah.
not too much to laugh at other than the fact that it's a big fucking bee. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I would disagree, but we can get to that
Okay.
as we get to it.
I love it.
Okay. All right. So as always, let's hit the synopsis. The
go.
fuck! I stuffed it up on the second word. The Unicorn and the Wasp is the 7th episode of the 4th series of the revived British science fiction television series Doctor Who, which was
Who.
aired on BBC One on the 17th of May 2008 at 7 p.m. For some reason, this one has a specific time that
It has the
aired.
exact
That's so
time.
weird.
Perfect.
Set at an English manor house in 1926, shortly before the disappearance of crime fiction novelist Agatha Christie, played in the episode by Fenella Woolgar. I probably butchered that name. The episode is a murder mystery style storyline where a shape-shifting giant wasp in disguise as one of the party guests murders the other guest using methods similar to those in the novels of Christie, who is also a guest. What a wordy fucking sentence.
I love it.
Good lord.
Madness. Absolute madness. So, Dan, you've not been on the show since we've sort of slightly reformatted things. Basically, what we do now is Connor kind of starts things off by, running us through the episode, and we just kind of jump in as we go and add bits if he misses bits and sort of say our opinions quite linearly like that, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, fantastic.
Sweet. So, Connor, I know you're about 10 seconds behind with your internet.
Yeah.
I made some notes as the episode was going, so I will be able to jump in with certain points.
That's good.
Perfect.
I'm glad one of us has notes, because
Yeah.
God knows that me and Connor don't write any notes these days.
Yeah, we run this shit and we never have. Well, I've had notes a few times, but next to never really do. So well done, Dan. I guess they're always so much more well prepared.
Yeah. Yeah, they're especially Zave. Zave had 3 pages of notes for our last.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Holy
our last
moly.
one. It was
yeah,
insane.
he made us look like animals.
Yeah, my notes are all just shit I found funny.
Yeah, legit. Yeah.
Good. I love it.
All right. Well, do you want me to run into it?
All right, Connor. Yeah, let's go straight into it, champ.
All right, sweet. So I watched it like an hour ago, so it's still fresh in my mind, which is good. It just starts Doctrine
me too.
Dawn Land, pretty standard, and then we get to see good old Professor Peach, it's a meme, by the way, because Professor Peach is from Cluedo, which is the classic board game where you have to try and guess the murderer, and what you find out what room they died in and what they were killed by and who they were killed. Like, they'll find like it's like the whole pipe thing. He gets killed in the library. Professor Peach.
Yeah,
it's a fat meme. I find it so funny that like it's like a POV of like a person walking into the room to go and kill Professor Peach, and then you just see the shadow of this
my God.
pipe. It's like no, and it's like you see like the eye of the wasp. It's ridiculous.
So the funny thing, I noticed something. If I can jump in, I noticed when one thing I noticed wearing headphones watching this, I don't know if you guys noticed this, in the very first shot of the episode, and I only noticed this because I was wearing headphones, there's actually, they put a sound effect of a buzz, like as the episode starts. It's
cool.
very subtle, and I played it with my laptop and I didn't hear it, and then I put in my headphones and started again, and I heard it and I was like, oh my God, they put in a buzzing sound.
Interesting.
Cool.
As the episode starts. Yeah, if you listen to it with your headphones on, you can hear it. But so that surprised me. And then also when the murder happens, if you look closely, when the lead pipe is raised, you can see it's a human hand. And then it cuts to his reaction, and then it changes to like a bee arm.
Right.
What I don't understand is why on earth did a giant bee use a lead pipe to kill this guy?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't he use his sting?
R.I.P. my boy, Mr. Peach.
What's wrong with this?
Well, we do find out later, Aiden,
Did we?
why this particular bee is obsessed with Agatha Christie style murder.
Right.
Oh, true.
Well,
It is. Oh, fuck me. This is such a silly episode.
Dan, stop giving the
That's
episode
not
credit.
me defending it.
Stop giving the episode credit, all right?
This is so. God damn.
Hey, I'm just saying, attention to detail.
Yeah.
The guy hadn't turned into a bee when he lifted the lead pipe, and he had, or maybe it's not a guy. We don't know yet. We haven't got to that part in the episode. But
Who is he? Who is she?
The bee figure had not beified. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of attention to detail in the first 5 minutes.
All right, be
so
careful with spoilers,
Don't you
Dan.
think
Be
as well,
careful.
The fact that we
I will
show
be.
the bee so early on, like, don't you think that was a bit like they didn't need to show it until later
Yeah.
in the episode?
Yeah, it's such a
I
show.
thought that was
Yeah,
a bit
yeah,
weird.
because it's like, it would have been sort of a mystery, but they show this stupid, terrible CGI shot and
Yeah.
just give it away.
Yeah, totally.
God, it's hilarious. So we go to the scene
Anyway.
now where Doctor and Donna are just kind of like watching people come in, and they go to the cocktails at 4:30. on the grass. All I could think about was, this is fucking sick, man. I would love to do that shit. But of course, we're going to meet all the characters. I thought it was a really cool way of meeting all the characters and stuff. Like, to the episode's fault, like, it's very silly. But it does a good job at setting up all the characters that you're intrigued enough, and we later on get to see how they lie and stuff. And it's a cool introduction. Everyone gets introduced properly, which I thought was nice. I like how Donna's trying to fit in, but is doing like an awful job at it, and it's really funny. Catherine Tate's great in the episode as per usual. And okay, so we find out there's been a murder. Oh no, there's been a murder, and it's hilarious.
Everything about all the murders, like the way they film the murders, the way they say that there's been a murder, everything about all of that is just so
Murder!
over the top and ridiculous. And I feel like they do it for laughs, but it's just so ridiculous.
There is so much stuff in this where I'm like, surely that was for a laugh.
Yeah. I feel like
they
it is.
do it to get a laugh, but I don't. It's weird because they also kind of. It feels like they also kind of want you to take it seriously.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
Even like Graham Harper's directing, like, you can tell he's going for that. Like, it's a cliche. Like, the script's a cliche. Like, I don't know. I got that impression. Like, it's trying to be like balls to the wall murder mystery and kind of having fun. But yeah, it's kind of hard to like have that line of like, should we take it seriously or not?
Yeah.
Oh, well. What's next, Connor?
Okay, so, of course, it's been murder. One thing I've always loved as a kid, which I always thought was such a cool thing that they did, was they could tell what time he was murdered, because when he fell on the floor, his watch broke. I don't know why.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was like, okay, that's some pretty smart shit. And then Doctor pretends he's from Scotland Yard, as per usual. Which Matt says quite a lot, which is funny. But then, he's like, I'm a fucking police officer, mate. Everyone get in the other room. I'm going to interrogate you all. And I like that scene where you could see everyone telling their story, but they were all lying. It intrigues you enough to be like, okay, any one of them could be the person who did it because they're all lying. I especially like the general who was like having flashbacks to like dancing girls, and he's actually looking at women in the.
So weird.
I know.
It's so funny.
He gets distracted within his own flashback.
I know. that I thought was hilarious. The flashback
Literally.
within a flashback. That was
He's looking at some
hilarious.
booty, and even the doctor gets like a flashback. And
I also think
yeah, go on.
the weird video effect and the sound effect that they put over when everyone flashes back is so cliche.
So bad.
And again, it's like it's hard to tell if it's on purpose or if they're actually genuinely.
I really hope
doing
it is. I really hope it is, and I feel like it must be.
It must be. Graham Harper's a great director, so I feel like he wouldn't dog the boys that bad, Like
It's funny too because I feel like I was actually going to say the directing I feel like is quite good, and I also, as the episode was starting, I was going to say you can tell that by the time they get to series 4, they're so close to being like HD, like they actually do have decent cameras and decent lighting and all that sort of stuff, but it's just not quite those like high quality cameras. But I will talk about this more later, but the lighting every now and then just fucking sucks so bad.
Yeah, especially with all the
lot of
Wasp.
the time in RTD's era, they seem to have like quite harsh light, and they don't diffuse the light.
Yes. They do it way too harsh, and there's way too much contrast with the way the light falls off the actors. And I guess maybe that was TV style back in the day. But another thing that is a shame is like, and this is why I bring up the video effect, is that the way they do some video effects and some of the CGI just sort of, it's like you can't remaster that.
Yeah.
Like it's just shit because it's shit.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, we have
when's the doctor's flashback?
Sorry. So
that's later in the
doctor's
episode.
flashback,
That one is hilarious.
It's funny. I like how he does that. The whole flashback. Like it's a cool little thing.
It's so silly. Scene. I don't know why throughout the episode they keep putting us on these random little adventures, and like they give us these like random segues to fill time, like they do with the flashback with the Colonel, whoever he was.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice?
They do it with the Doctor's one again, where the flashback goes on for so long.
Did you notice this?
And that kind of that makes me. Oh, sorry, you go, Connor.
Do you know Felicity Jones? She's in the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down Rogue One girl.
Yeah, literally Rogue One. Yeah.
She's
Sorry,
great
guys,
in
you
it
go
as
on.
well.
Nah, she is. Yeah, love her.
This was in when it was. I'm looking at my notes now that I wrote as I was watching the episode, and when she comes on to give her flashback, I wrote down Rogue One girl, and then when the guy who remembers the women comes on, I wrote haha, classic porn man. So that's my contribution to the notes.
Yeah.
I will say, just with the Felicity Jones thing, like, Doctor Who just has so many high-profile guest stars every now and then. They just pop up, and it's so like interesting.
Well, she wasn't that famous before this, though, was she? Like,
it's like Andrew
no,
Garfield.
but that's what I mean. Like, they have them like before. So that's what I mean is they have them before. It's like Andrew Garfield and all that, and yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Connor?
Sorry. Yeah, the one like it's. Apologies again for my internet connection. It sounds like I'm
having
trying
issues.
to talk over the lads.
Show must go on.
The next scene, the show must
he
go
could very
on.
well be talking, and he's like, "Oh, I can't even." Oh, there he is.
Wait, what? Did it disconnect again? Oh, fuck off! No way. No. Stop.
Actually,
can you hear
I
me
have
now?
no idea what you're talking about, Connor.
We just hit Connor. All we can hear you going is like the show got.
I have two options
Are you
with
serious?
this audio. I either cut out this section or I cut up Connor's audio so it sounds to the audience like he's breaking up.
What we're
I'm
hearing.
so sorry. I'm trying to like talk, but like I feel like I'm cutting all the time.
That's
I can take from the top.
Yeah.
You want me to? Take from the top
Well, wherever you were from, go carry on.
because it's actually in the malaria is someone at the door. As she goes and she goes.
Look, Dan, I don't know about you, but I can't hear shit that Connor's saying right now.
No, I can't.
Fucking hell.
Alright, so clearly there's some audio difficulties here. It's fun. Technology. These things happen. They're happening slightly too regularly at the moment. But look, they happen. It doesn't help that Connor's internet is from the Stone Age, but it resulted in some, I guess funny banter, so that's kind of good.
Wait, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Is this like the opposite of a Zoom sponsorship?
Pretty much. Anyways, shortly we did get things back on track, so let's get back into the show. So due to Connor's amazing internetness, actually, Dan, you being the guest for one, but two, I honestly barely remember this episode. I only watched it like 3 or 4 days ago.
I know it's...
So you watched it like an hour or two ago. Maybe you could take over running us through the episode.
Sure. Okay, Connor, where were you? And when you tell me, I'll take over.
So I was talking about the scene where Donna opens up the room and goes in, and we get to see the Wasp in full for the first time.
Ah, yes. Let me have a look. I think I wrote on that little bit, Big B is funny.
Here we go.
No, it may be because I was thinking like when she was looking through the room, I was like, first of all, they don't really do anything to establish the victim, which sort of makes the whole mystery feel a bit hollow at the start. I mean, that becomes less important as the episode goes on, but the whole mystery starts. You're not really invested from the beginning, I feel like. I get that they're more going for the goofs rather than the mystery side of it, but yeah,
It's
so
so goofy. And I don't know, just the whole
goofy.
CGI B smashing through the window. It just looks
great.
so
My
weird.
word.
And then she gets the sun. She uses the power of the sun.
Yep. The magnifying glass. And it's so weird because they CGI it to look like she's shooting him, like with a ray.
And then you get the giant sting through the door.
We love
Yes. Big sting. And then so then they have this little chat, and then the maid, I can't remember for what reason. I think she has a thought that is revealed what that thought is later. But
yeah, and
she runs to go to tell the lady, who, by the way, the old lady, I can't remember her name. Not Agatha Christie's character, but the other old lady. She really reminds me of my Oma, weirdly enough.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah, look, it's true. But I just wrote down that the maid dying is just so funny and so weirdly shot. I wonder how they shot that because like
Yeah, it's bizarre.
they must have had a massive crane of the camera and it just like really fast goes into her face. Like
No,
it's such a weird
they just
shot.
dropped a GoPro off the roof.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, literally catch, and she's like, ah!
She wasn't acting.
It was all real.
They just threw a camera at her.
Aiden, did you see the Graham Harper classic like magnifying? You know what I mean? Like that's we always talk about this.
Yeah, so Dan, and to listeners that don't know, the director of this episode is Graham Harper, who's a great director in the RTD era and has done a few classic eras episodes too.
Okay.
And he has a trope in everything he directs where you see characters like distorted through objects and through like glass or something. So there's like a shot of Donna in this through the magnifying glass and she looks hella goofy.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
It's just a Graham Harperism.
Classic.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so funny. Like, so he, the statue falls on her, and then it's really weirdly shot. But then when it falls on her, like, she does this really weird like slow death thing, and it's done in the classic BBC way where they can't like show a graphic death. Like she's just she's lying there. It's really funny. And again,
it
I
reminded
mean,
me of a hella PG version of Hot Fuzz.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
legit.
and that's what's funny about it. Like it almost feels like they're trying to do two things at once. Like they're trying to have a serious murder mystery that you can like get into, but they're also trying to be a goofy ass kids show. And so I feel like it's sort of conflicting tones in my opinion. But yeah, it's a bit strange. I mean, what say you?
What say me?
Yes, what say you, man?
I don't know, man. I seriously have so little thoughts on this episode. I don't even know why I'm here. Like,
I did make this note later, but it applies to the whole episode. But I feel like this episode, and this is part of why I chose it. Part of why I chose it was because it's got a fucking massive B in it. But like another thing that I realized while watching it is that like a thread with these episodes that are not really the best episodes is that they don't have a very great A plot. And because of that, they end up having some actually really fun moments. But the problem is when you have a bunch of fun moments that don't really connect and don't work towards a bigger plot, you get ultimately like quite a disjointed episode. And that's just how I feel like this episode is. That's why I agree with you that it's fine. It's not terrible, but it's got a bunch of good moments loosely stitched together with some filler, and then you have an episode, rather than like building it on the backbone of a solid plot.
I don't even know how many good moments there are. I could name
The whole thing.
one.
Look, I'm not. Well, okay. When I say good, I mean like the deaths are hilarious, not necessarily on purpose, but like it's got fun moments. And then but I would also say that like the Doctor flashback is good. It's coming up in a little bit, but when the Doctor has to, I'll get to this now because I guess that's coming up. But anyway, so the lady dies, the chick dies, and then they sit down to wonder, how did she die? And they mention Poirot, and I will also mention that Kath loves Poirot, and her favorite story is Murder on the Orient Express. So that does get mentioned.
Saucy.
But they're sitting down and thinking, and then dun dun dun, the Doctor is poisoned. Oh no!
I've been poisoned.
The butler
Damn.
did it.
Jeez.
Which, by the way, they never.
Why did the butler do it?
Bring that back. Yeah, they never explain
Do
why.
you think
the
maybe he
butler
just
did it.
fucking hates the doc? Like he's like this
Yeah,
twat.
they never explain who gave him the poison, who told him to do it, like
It's
why
like-
he did it.
I thought, have I forgotten something? Like, does the Wasp do something to make him do it? Like, there's no explanation at all.
Yeah, it's really weird. He just does it, and you can't say that he did it on accident because they have a really short but weird shot.
Yeah,
where
of
the
him
butler,
looking
gives the
over and he's
Doctor
like,
evils.
looking over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, this guy.
So it's obviously on purpose, but they never explain. Like,
That scene is funny, though. I like that
why he does
scene.
it.
That is a funny scene.
It is a funny scene.
When the
and
salt's
then,
too
so then
salty.
obviously this is what I was going to say, which is a fun scene. The Doctor has to, which by the way doesn't really make any sense in terms of like science or plot or whatever, but he has to eat all this random shit.
Yeah, he
and
detoxes.
shout at Donna and charades and all this stuff, and it's a funny scene. Like I said, it doesn't make much sense, but it's fun. It's a good time. And also, I will say that scene, in my opinion, does make it feel like I feel as though David Tennant has the funnest time with Catherine Tate. Like, I feel like those two have the best chemistry as actors.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying Donna's the best character, but I feel like you can tell that Dave is just having a fat laugh whenever he's on screen with her, you know?
Yeah,
that was
so good
a
together.
seriously great scene. And that was one of those scenes where I was like, fuck, Graham Harper is such a good director. Like, no score makes it like even funnier. And then the camera work is so over the top that it's like hilarious. Like, it's really shaky, like constantly panning, and it's got this like really frantic feeling for what is a frantic scene, but also a hilarious scene. And so I just think it works really well.
I think it gets close to being a bit too goofy, but I agree that I feel like the way that they direct it and then the acting of Tate and Tennant, I feel like really, they pull it off. And I enjoy that scene. I think it's really funny.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I think it's a good moment.
Did you like that scene, Connor?
But I will say
Yes,
it's weird when
I
the
did.
smoke monster leaves his mouth. That's kind of
Sorry.
strange.
Yeah, I've always loved that scene. I thought it was really funny. Like, I feel like I like this episode more than you guys. Like, I was just having such a fun time with it. Like, it's so shit, but I love it. Like, it's so goofy. On purpose, I think. On purpose, I hope. But, yeah, that scene's
The
great.
one I can probably compare it to the most is
That's
like,
too salty.
as in of the ones I've been on, is sort of like Boomtown, where it's similar. I feel like the episode plot itself is
Dan's
so
first.
forgettable, but like there's just so much fun moments, and it's like it's an enjoyable episode in terms of just watching it.
Yeah, exactly.
I seriously didn't have much fun with it. I found myself so bored during like the majority of the episode.
I just hate
I
Gareth
think
Roberts.
I had fun with it because, well, I feel like going into it, I was purposely not taking it seriously. Like, I knew it would be shit, so I was like,
I was the same.
every part that was even a little bit campy, I was just like having a great time with it. Like, even like the episode starts and like straight away they get into it. Like, there's not even really a hesitation, which I kind of think is, you know, at least they lean into it.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so then after this, after they have the you know, detox scene, they go to the dinner table, I believe, or the dining hall. Or
Yes,
whatever.
correct.
And they're trying to have a serious conversation. And I will say that I do love, I think it's just my British heritage, and I don't know if you guys would agree, but I always love when there's like an old royal person, lady or man, who just says some shit like, we are British and we must carry on, or whatever. Like, that's just gives me so
Love
much
Downton Abbey,
nostalgia.
Dan. You should watch Downton Abbey, because my parents watched that shit. It's literally the exact same.
Oh god.
Yeah. Well, but see, that's the thing. I don't like. I like it ironically. You know what I mean? I
Keep
feel like
calm and
whenever they
carry
say
on.
that, I find it so funny.
We're British.
I agree
doctor.
with it, but I do find it funny. But yeah, no, she's like, we are British, doctor.
Then it gets
then
spooky.
yeah, then it gets spooky because the Wasp infiltrates, and they do. And I quite like the way they do this, where they keep it a mystery and that you don't know who the
It's
Wasp
so
is.
obvious
I
they're
think
using
that's
lights. It's so obvious with the lightning.
Yes.
It's so
It is
fucking
obvious, but I feel like I'm like, okay, fair enough. It makes sense in terms of, they'd all be frantic and all that. But then once again, we get one of just such a visually hilarious death with the guy with the young lad with his face in the soup bowl and a knife in his back. It's just so, and also the knife is barely in his back as well. He could have probably quite easily survived that. So they had to put his face in the soup to say, oh, well, he drowned too.
It's so funny. Oh my god!
It's such a ridiculous
I used to think that was so
death.
dark as a kid. I used to think that was such like a look, Doctor Who's gone so
know.
dark. Like
So silly.
someone's got a knife
By
in his
the way-
back.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but when all the lights are flickering and everyone's running around, there's a shot of the vicar, and then when the light flickers and the light comes back on, it's the same shot, but it's of the Vesper form. So it's literally like, it's so obvious that it's
Right,
the vicar,
it's
like on
telling you.
rewatch, you know?
It's always a nice
Yeah.
guy as well in these stories. There's always a nice guy.
Enlighten me.
So-
What happens next, Dan?
Okay, so after this, Oh yeah, and I also wrote, I was like, do they mean to make the deaths the most hilarious looking deaths ever? Maybe they do, and maybe if they were trying to do that, then I respect them for that. But
they succeeded.
Anyway, so then they go into, I think it's like a living room or there's a room with a couch, and they all sit down and they're all having their chat, and this is where it's like, okay, we really got to figure out who the hell did this. And it is a bit, I will say, it starts off a bit weird, but I actually really like the little speech Doctor gives and the sort of tangent he goes off. And I feel like, so then they reveal that the old lady, my grandma, went and slept with a wasp in Arabia or in India. It's
so
very
silly.
bizarre. And you know what's strange about it is that she recalls the memory and she's like, well, she says some shit like, oh, and he had a secret or something. And it's like, he's a fucking wasp, mate. That's more than a secret. Like, he's an entire different race. Or not even, he's an entire different species.
Yeah.
It's completely, oh, God. He's not even part of the human race is what I was meaning. But yeah, it's
so silly.
Ridiculous. Oh God, it's so strange. But okay, wait. Before that, they reveal that Rogue One girl is the unicorn.
Yes.
Slay.
Yeah,
She
so
is
she
the
was
unicorn
queen.
from
And
Unicorn and the Wasp.
I will say, she says a line. She says something like, "I'm the unicorn" or whatever. And I thought to myself, I'd love her to be my unicorn. If anyone understands what that means, they get it. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, also I will say that I feel like her scouse, oh, that's right, I'm the unicorn. I feel like it's not a very good accent. I don't know. Did you guys think it was?
Yeah, it was classic.
On point.
All right, I did it.
She
ain't
sounds
no
to
killer.
me. I feel like she's a very posh actress, and she has a posh accent, and it felt a little bit put on.
Yeah, totally. But I do think, I don't know. I believed it, but I think it's one of those things where it's
it too.
We're so used to her in other accents, especially Rogue One accent, that when she comes out with this complete polar
I've
opposite.
seen her with such posh British, I feel like she did pretty good, but it was just I was kind of like, oh, this is
just for the audience. For the audience, by the way, I've looked up the definition of what a unicorn is for what Dan was referring to. It says a unicorn is a mythical creature, someone amazing who is hard to catch or simply a very rare find. The term is often described as someone who's remarkably attractive, but not at all batshit crazy, amazing at sex, and has a great personality. You may be a unicorn. So there you go, folks.
Yes,
Dad, how dare you? This is a kids show.
This is a kids show.
Sorry, folks.
We're just doing a kids rewatch show.
We never talk about sex or swear.
My deepest apologies.
Fuck that.
They told me off on the latest Bluey podcast as well, so I'm sorry about that. So then also the husband of the old lady gets. Well, he doesn't even get revealed. He accidentally reveals himself that
he just
not
stands
paralyzed.
up. I'm sorry. You got me.
Just stands up.
That is a hilarious moment. That is so funny.
You got me. How did you know?
And then she's like, I just thought you were innocent.
That's why she never
That
released
is
it too
genuinely
early.
hilarious.
You know what I hate though?
It's so goofy.
Throughout this entire scene, it goes on for so long of David going, "It was you
Yeah.
Oh
who
my
didn't
god, they
do
played
it."
So
that up
repetitive.
way too much.
but it was you who told me that this person," and he just keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah,
and I'm
and
like,
Donna
"Shut
does the same
the
thing.
fuck
yeah.
up."
Yeah, literally.
It's
Donna's
weird
the
to
same
me
thing.
the way it's written too, though, because not that he does that, but he does that, and then she's like, "I did it," and he's like, "No, that's obviously not what I meant." It's like, well, what are they supposed to think when
Yeah.
you point at them and say it's you? I feel like his reaction should have been a bit more, a bit different. I don't know,
And it was you. So he killed her. No. It was her. So she
Yeah, it's
killed
like,
him.
what?
No. How dare you think that?
Oh god.
Yeah,
all
that's
that
it.
was a bit, all that was a bit over the top.
Yeah, it got so repetitive.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe that's them trying to make fun of
Yeah.
of Agatha Christie novels and stuff, but I don't know. It just
went too far.
Again, it felt like a weird mix between trying to legitimately pay homage to them and also parody them. it felt like I don't feel like they walked the line as well as they could. Also, by the way, in that scene, again, this was because I was wearing headphones when I watched it, there is a really subtle buzzing during that scene as well. It's not throughout the whole scene, but like there's a moment where there's like a little buzz when the doctor says something. And it was the same as the opening. I was like, I only noticed that specifically because I had headphones on.
Can we discuss the zzz?
Oh my god. Yeah, that is... Good god.
What is there to discuss? You just...
What is discuss?
Well, okay, wait. So before we get to that, we have to get there. So basically, the doctor says to the old lady, "Oh, you went away for 6 months, 40 years ago, blah 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 blah." And then, like I said, it's weirdly revealed that she's... So that's the other thing. How did that guy get to Earth? The Wasp guy.
He came down in a meteorite. He fucking flew,
and then
Dan.
what happened to him after?
He flew. It's a wasp.
From where?
The sky, where all wasps come from.
So that's the thing. She just slept with this random dude in
with
India.
A wasp, all right?
Who revealed himself to be a wasp randomly.
And she's like, cool, mate.
Could also turn into a human.
I wonder how he revealed it,
Mate, I don't want to know.
Yeah, because in the flashback, he just stands there and shows her. And it's like, how the fuck?
He just takes his pants off and...
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe they were fucking and she was like, oh, that's a little bit stinging. That's
what I'm thinking.
I was wondering why it stung so much.
Good God. I was wondering why your jizz tasted like honey.
How big's your stinger?
It's so strange.
It is weird. It's so strange. And he fucking dies by some it's like the bank breaks and he got fucking drowned or some shit. Like, you don't even see it. And he just happens to give her the pendant before he fucking dies, like the day before he dies. It's like,
yeah, so I didn't see that. So did they mention that? Was that like an off-screen death?
Yeah, so he gives her the pendant and then the next day he dies.
Yeah.
From
Isn't it like a flood or something?
Is that just done in dialogue?
Yeah. There's no, you don't see
because
it.
later on, Donna says something about that. And I was like, wait, the dad died? I was like, I feel like I missed that.
Yeah, so they both drown because he gets some bank breaks in India and he get like a bank that like would keep water out, not like an actual bank where you go and get money.
Also, so I wrote this point too. I wrote down and I wrote this down as well because remember in the start during the flashbacks where they're interrogating all the people, I think it's the kid who dies in the soup. And the doctor asks him where he was. And in the flashback, he's like very obviously seducing another man. And in that scene, because I just recently watched It's a Sin, I was like, that's classic Russell. Like, has to sneak in like unconventional sex. And then we got to the Wasp. I was like, Russell really just loves putting in any sort of sex that does not involve a regular man and a woman.
Well, there's big hints to it. There's big hints to it at the cocktails on the grass because like that bloke who he's trying to see keeps like making comments like, "Oh, you like it like this, don't you?" It's like that's exactly how I like it.
Yeah.
So
bloody sneaky Russell. I love it, but I love how he just does it like so open.
Russell's like, "Oh, sneak this in, it'll be fine."
Don't you guys
also, I will say I like Donna's little comments when she's like, "Oh, who did it? Who did it?" Oh, and she's like eating popcorn. I think that's cool.
I thought it was cool, but it was also like she was so sidelined.
Yeah, legit.
She had
at that point, she was just like, she was just making. I feel like she was bored on set. She was like, "Can I make comments?"
I've had no lines in this script for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Well, don't you guys think that like all of this, like whodunits, right? It's like meant to be a thing where throughout the episode or throughout the movie, you get clues that are like actual clues, right? Don't you think this episode kind of fails at that in like every fucking way possible?
Because it's pretty obvious.
Because you can't. There's no way that you could have deducted it because when they do the reveal at the end of who it was is when you get all of it. It's you couldn't figure it out with all of the insane backstory.
I know. I feel like that's
a
good point. Because when you watch it now, I was like, it's just so obvious. Like I was like, but then when I first watched it, I didn't know. Do you know what I mean? So I get what you mean.
I don't know, because it's like you watch Knives Out, right? And because I love Knives Out, I kind of went into this with like a bit of like, oh, maybe I will like this. It's a whodunit. But the whole way through, I was like, we're not getting clues. All the only clues we're getting is there's a bee. Who's the bee? And they don't.
Yeah.
Who
They
can
just
it be?
make a series of events happen and then give you a bunch of information at the end of the episode. And then it's meant to be like, look how smart we were.
Yeah, no, I feel like, to your point, Aiden, like Knives Out is a legitimately good like homage to Agatha Christie, and like it pays tribute, but it does its own thing, but it's actually a good whodunit. Because it gives you the clues, because you can figure it out. And if you do, you feel good. If you don't, you're kind of like, oh, that, I wish I'd seen it.
Dan.
Whereas this one it just doesn't lay the groundwork very well. And that's what I meant when I said about it starts and you don't know about the victim. But anyway, yeah.
Sorry, the internet was funny. Dan, can I request a bra on the soundboard right now? Because Aiden mentioned Knives Out.
It's got to happen.
First page.
Bruh.
There you go. Apologies for interrupting you, Dan. It was the internet. Aiden just got broad. Anyway, continue.
No, I would agree though in the sense that unfortunately they don't set up that they don't set up the mystery well enough, I feel like, and it's just again it makes it feel not as rewarding as it could when they do the reveal, because you're just like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I suppose at that point it's also so weird that you're like, okay, this is fucking strange.
Yeah.
Also, the way they do the flashback when they show the church and there are these two guys robbing the church, and I'm like, are these guys supposed to be like teenagers, or are they supposed to be fully grown adults?
I have no idea.
Because the actors they got are so weirdly aged. Like they're so old to be like robbing a church.
There's so many things like that in this episode. It's just so weird.
It's fucking
stupid. And then when the doctor accuses him, he's like, poppycock.
Oh, poppycock.
So then he starts the zzz, and that's just it's the dumbest, like, because it doesn't even really make sense, like. Oh god,
my child. So we see the Spielberg.
Also, as a note on the lighting,
Aiden, the push and pull.
Oh yeah.
The
vertigo
like
effect,
vertigo zoom. Yeah.
Which, by the way, Aiden now owns Vertigo on Blu-ray, I believe.
I do. I watched it a couple of days ago, actually.
Aiden's now a filmmaker.
Thanks, Dan.
Aiden knows the original Vertigo zoom. Oh.
I do. It's not like I saw it in every
popularized by
class.
Jaws, but yeah.
Aiden's like, I'd never seen it before. It's new to me.
Yeah, made
What
popular
is this
by
cool
Jaws,
effect?
but pioneered by Hitchcock. I will say as well, a note that I had. So when he turns into the bee, and this is just something that is a shame watching like the, before they went HD, but it's also unfortunately something they can't really, like I said, they just can't remaster bad lighting. Whenever they make their guy turn into the bee, they're trying to make it look like he's glowing, but they're obviously just shining a light on his face.
I know, it's so bad. That shot, that shot especially was really bad.
And the thing as well,
it looks so bad.
The thing with it is like, it doesn't even look like he's glowing because they don't isolate the light, so it's just on his face.
No,
it's also on his, like,
it bleeds
shirt and
out
stuff.
to the surrounding shit. Ugh.
Well, you can get away
And
with
then they
it
do
kind
this-
of being on the surrounding shit because you can say it's like coming out of him.
But that's also what they do weirdly, is that when they cut to other people, they shine a bit of light on them as if he's glowing, but it just doesn't match properly. It just makes it look really weird.
Yeah. Very purple season. Me and Connor have pointed out, and this is another one of those episodes that's got a bit of purple.
Oh, also on that note of the colors and stuff, this is skipping a little bit ahead. We can come back, but I saw in the next time trailer he's wearing his iconic blue suit. Why is there a reason he doesn't wear that in this episode, or is that just
he kind of just? I don't know. I think it's because he wore it in 3 episodes in a row.
Okay,
Yeah.
so season 4 he just goes back and forth
I
a little
think.
bit.
4 because I think he wears it as well in Planet of the Ood. So I think it was just like 4
I
in
just
a
thought
row.
it was funny because I saw it in the next time trailer, and then I was like, wait a minute, I thought season 4 he wore it all season, but then this is a random episode.
It's like Pete. You know how Pete fucking changes all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Jodie kind of
that Black
does,
Hoodie
not
Man.
Because
really, but
It was brown in the first 2 episodes of the season, and then it was blue from then on until this one when it's brown.
Yeah, he kind of just like changes all the time.
Also, I will just say the whole like reasoning for the villain I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, I don't.
So shit.
Can I say something
I don't
quickly?
remember. Can you explain someone?
Well,
I don't even really understand it, but
okay,
Connor
so
gave it his best try.
very similar to Gareth Roberts. By the way, Gareth Roberts is transphobic, so we fucking hate him. But either way, very similar to his last episode in season 3, which was the Shakespeare Code. He hasn't done it since, but he takes like historical events where things have happened, like in Shakespeare Code. He takes the script that Shakespeare wrote, which never got shown. Now, in this case, and this is actually a true story, Agatha Christie actually did disappear for 10 days, and she did catch her husband cheating, and her car was actually found at a lake. Like, that actually happened in real life. Like, I actually researched it before we came on.
That's crazy.
So he takes... Again, it sounds like a really good idea. We shouldn't support him because he's a bad person. But, it's actually a true story.
Yeah, I actually wrote down that I like when the show does that. I like when they take
it's creative,
real life sort
of
stories or things that have happened, and they make them into cool episodes. Like, that's why like Fires of Pompeii is like quite interesting as well.
Well,
they've done it with a couple of other
apparently
they've done it a few other times. Obviously, it's hit and miss, but
according to her, well, she released an autobiography and she didn't address it at all, and it was like a massive like controversy. People assumed that because she had just caught her husband cheating, which she mentioned in the episode, people assumed that it was like a almost like a stint, like almost like one of her novels, like she disappeared, you know. And she came back with like no knowledge of anything that happened.
A stunt, do you mean? Like staged almost.
A stunt, yeah, whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean, though, yeah. Colin's had a few beers, a few Guinnesses, but yeah. It happened though, which is, I think it's pretty cool. Like, and she never said anything happened, and then she died, so we'll never know what happened. Oh, sorry, we do. It was a massive fucking wasp.
Yeah, massive wasp chased her and flew into a lake.
That's the most logical.
So now they get into the cars or something, don't they? They do a drive.
Yeah, so then they get into the cars because it's revealed that Agatha's brain is what is causing the wasp to kill.
How dare you, Agatha?
Fuck yeah.
So she feels so bad that she says, "Oh, I must lure this wasp away, and he can kill me, and it can be done with." But then Donna takes the pendant or whatever and throws it into the water, and the wasp just chases it in. And the water shot is kind of weird because it doesn't. Yeah, it's a weird resolution. The wasp just flies into water.
Surely it's not that fucking dumb.
She's like, it drowned just like his dad.
Just wait for the alternate ending, boys.
Oh, but I love how it's like my dad died
in the car.
It's like my dad died by water, and then literally the pendant gets thrown into a lake. Let's go and grab it. Like, it's like, oh no, just like my dad.
And by alternate ending, I thought you meant that thing you sent today on Snapchat of David Tennant driving the car from
from
Good Heavens and Angels or whatever.
In Good Omens.
Good Omens.
Good Omens, yeah.
So good. I'm loving that show, boys.
Good Omens. Good Omens. Fuck me. Sorry.
Good Almonds.
Sorry. I haven't eaten today.
Okay, so can I also just add, by the way, so then the wasp dies.
R.I.P. Big Sting.
And then 10 days later, they drop her off at the Harrogate Hotel. Shout out, Aiden.
Harrogate.
Wait, what? Hang on. This is context I don't know. You've been there?
Yeah, we've been to Harrogate.
But you've actually...
Well, I don't think we've been to Harrogate Hotel, though.
Did you see Agatha Christie there?
No.
She was still missing. We
went to a school and we tried to pick up chicks asking for the Wi-Fi password.
Oh, did it work?
By the way, we were school kids at the time. Sorry, that sounds very rapey.
To clarify, they were the same age. Did it work?
School, yeah.
Did it work? Did you get anyone's number?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
We didn't even get the Wi-Fi password, mate.
Mate, come on.
Well, we saw some interesting things there. But that's a story for another day. So they take her back 10 days later to the Harrogate Hotel, drop her off, and then they go back into the TARDIS. And let me just say about the whole like dropping her off 10 days later. It kind of annoys me because it's one of those annoying time travel things where they only do that because they know that she did it.
It happened, Dan.
It's like it like relies on itself to happen. It annoys me when time travel does that because it's kind of like, then why did you do it? Like you did it because you saw that it happened, and then you did it because you saw that it happened. Like it's just a loop, and it kind of
and it doesn't.
It makes sense, but it's a bit. Yeah, it makes sense, but it doesn't. You know
it's like the first egg of the chicken, like the chicken laid the egg type thing.
Yeah, it's like who did it first? Did you drop her off first, or did you see it in the? Did you see it in history first, or like what something must have happened to cause it? But it's a loop, so it doesn't really work. Anyway, that's just something that kind of annoys me, but I don't really mind it. When you're a time travel show, you can kind of do shit like that. I get it. I also will say I find it weirdly funny that the TARDIS just happens to have like alphabetized storage compartments. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
so we're going to see a callback to Shakespeare
and
Code.
Then he pulls out all this random shit.
Yeah, it's the Shakespeare Code thing, the little globe.
The Carionite ball.
Carionite, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. There's the callback to Shakespeare Code, and earlier in the episode there was a callback to the Unquiet Dead. Because he mentions about being.
Oh, and there's also a callback to Runaway Bride. Runaway Bride gets mentioned.
Yes, yeah, there's a lot of callbacks in this episode.
Ooh.
Anyways, that's like the end of the episode, right?
That is the full episode.
Correct.
Wow. What a mess of a Doctor Who episode and a mess of our podcast episode.
Correct.
What a wild ride. Anyways, so shall we move on to Australia's favourite segment?
Oh, yes. Tell me.
Let's do it. Connor, are you ready or are you 10 seconds behind? I can't tell.
No, I'm here.
Sweet. It's time for Goof of the Week!
Oi!
Bippity boppity boop. Boopity boop. Alright, so, boys, do we have any goofs this week?
I do.
Go on.
Well, I thought it was a goof that she mentioned the dad died, but I guess not.
Okay, so basically alright, this is I don't know because I haven't been to a church for years. Obviously, look at me, but I think that it says like they broke in at night, but the way like the lights were reflecting, it looked like it was daytime. Did anyone else think that?
It did look like daytime.
Thank you. With peace and love. So that's the show I got.
I don't have any, but that's why we have our good friend TARDIS Wiki to help us out. Am I right?
Whee!
Hey, we need to bring TARDIS Wiki writer on the show at some point.
We love them.
So, at 2 points during the final scenes, actors mistakenly lapse into their natural accents. When Agatha says she was about to say Cole... Wait, what? Colonel... What? Okay, hold on. When Agatha says she was about to say Colonel Kirbishley was innocent, Fenella Woolgar lapses into her regular estuary English accent. What is this sentence? While when the 10th Doctor tells Galaiti at the lakeside, don't hurt her, David Tennant lapses into his natural Scottish accent. There you go.
Interesting.
At one point in the confrontation scene, Agatha was looking at the Doctor without holding her glass of drink. The scene then cuts to a wider shot, showing her putting her drink down on the table before looking up again. I actually did notice that. Actually, because it's like a close-up of Agatha, and then when it cuts to the wide, she's in like a completely different position with her like picking up the glass or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, I noticed that too, actually.
Just a little jarring, just a small thing, but it's the small things.
Continuity matters.
It does. It's a big thing. Anyways, so shall we move on to Australia's second favourite segment?
Oh yeah, I can't wait for this one. To be fair, this is gonna be a good one. It always is with Gareth Roberts.
It's always fun. It's time for Behind the Scenes. I like the ooh. That was good. That was good, Dan. Okay, so Gareth Roberts and Russell T Davies held an unofficial contest to see how many references to Agatha Christie's works they could insert into the episode. So there's like a fuck ton in them. That's just a silly little thing. David Tennant's father, Sandy McDonald, makes a cameo as a footman.
No way.
Yeah. And last little behind the scenes thing, and this is one of those things where it's like, fuck, Graham Harper doesn't understand Doctor Who. Is in the writer's tale, Russell T Davies talked about how the ending was a rewritten one. Originally, the Doctor was to have rammed the Vesper form into the lake with the car that he and Donna had commandeered. But Tennant objected because he was concerned that the ending would portray the Doctor as a murderer.
Man, this happens so much. There's so many rewrites with Gareth Roberts' scripts.
So yeah, Gareth Roberts just writes this weird shit throughout his episodes, and I don't know why. Like, Dan, I don't know if you were if we told you, but in the Shakespeare Code, Gareth wrote that like the Doctor was gonna like strip off naked to get in bed with Martha or something like that.
I did hear that. Yes.
Yeah, I told Dan.
Like,
I think it was
weird.
yesterday or something. I said to Dan on the show, on me and Dan's. That's for our podcast, by the way. I said to him, I was like, Gareth wrote like this weird ass scene like that.
It's so weird, and it's like I think David just like he reads Gareth Roberts' scripts extra cautiously because in both of them he's like been like, hold on, that's not the Doctor.
So he was the one to object. He was the one to say, hell no.
Yeah. So very interesting.
That is weird. Jesus.
Very interesting. Any other notes from you guys on this episode?
I have another thing to say. It's not Doctor Who related, but it's Russell related.
Go on then.
I started Years and Years.
Yeah, round of applause for Connor.
Did you watch the first episode?
I did watch the first episode.
Woo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We get it, Dan. You got the soundboard.
Yeah, we get it. I really liked it. So I got 5 episodes to go. I know. Look, this is why with It's a Sin, I completely just binged it, and I feel like I ain't got much Russell content left. So I'm gonna enjoy it and just savor it. But I really liked it. I thought it was a really cool concept. Fucking Murray's score on this episode was great. Murray's score in Years and Years was great.
It's so good.
Yeah, I wanted to say that because everyone's been asking me to fucking watch it, and Dan beat me to it, so I was like, about time I watched it.
The future, like Into the Future or whatever the piece of score's called, it's not out on soundtrack, so it's hard to say.
I know what you're talking about. That's a killer score.
It's so good.
With the birthday cake,
word.
Is that what you're talking about? The birthday
it's
cake
incredible.
Stuff? Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
It's actually like
totally
it's some of my favorite stuff Murray's done is in Years and Years. It's
that's
really
so good.
Fuck, I kind of really want to rewatch it.
Very
I only
good
watched it
sci-fi
last
show,
year,
I must say.
but it's so good.
Yeah, I only finished it like yesterday or the day before. It's a great show.
Yeah, it might take me years and years
incredible.
to finish it, but no, I'm kidding. That's a shit joke.
Love
I'm gonna
it.
literally
No.
finish it in like a week or something. But I love Russell, man. I love him so much. So I had to watch
Yeah,
it.
my thoughts on this episode is that my overall thoughts is that it's good. It's fun. It's kind of classic Russell. Sorry, I was just trying to add on to what you're saying.
No, that's all right.
I feel like it's classic Russell era, but it's not. It doesn't have all the sort of shiteness of like the first 1 or 2 seasons, like the really cringy parts. Like there's still a little bit of cringe, but it definitely is in the sweet spot of Russell's era.
The only reason I'm laughing is because I was talking about Years and Years, and you thought I was talking about Doctor Who, but that's okay. That's all good.
No, I knew you were talking about Years and Years.
Oh, right.
Years and Years. I was just trying to segue back into talking about this show.
Dan thinks he's the host of the podcast, and whenever we
fuck
go off
off, Dan.
topic,
This is the part. This is the back end of the
Doctor
show.
Who.
This is the back end of the show. We're going to talk about
sorry.
anything. Bro, it's called the 50% Doctor Who podcast. We talk about other shit as well.
No, Dan, I love it.
Who do you think you are?
I was just
just
answering the
playing with
question Aiden asked us.
What did he ask us? Oh, yeah, true.
He asked us any other thoughts on the episode. I was just trying to answer.
Nah, we get to that when he says, what are your ratings, boys?
All right, fine. Well, I'll give my thoughts on that when he asks.
Dan,
Okay.
yeah.
But yes, I did enjoy Years and Years a lot, and I'm glad you're watching it. It's very good.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
So, shall we give our ratings, boys?
There you go. That's what we're waiting for. Dan, you can go first because you're the guest.
You are the guest.
I'm trying to think of what ratings I've given. What episodes have I done? I did Boomtown.
Aiden should have them on
get your
I
record.
ratings.
did.
As we speak. So, Boomtown, Dan, you gave a 6. Fear Her, you gave a 3.
Yep.
And
Checks out.
Gridlock, you gave a 5. So you're very fucking harsh.
Yeah, I was going to say either 5 or 6. But
I see.
I'm trying to think of how this compares. I feel like if I gave Boomtown a 6, I have to give this at least a 6. So I'm gonna say 6 for this one.
Giving it a 6? All right.
Seeing this one, I probably would downgrade my Boomtown rating to a 5, but it's in the record, so I know I can't.
Yeah,
take it
it's
back,
fixing the
but yeah,
books.
I would say solid. I would say solid 6 for this one.
I see.
Could I will also say I didn't mention this in the review, but or like while we we're talking, but I also wish they had made Agatha Christie like her character more compelling. I feel like there was a lot left on the table. She could have been such a more interesting character in this episode, and I feel like if they had done that and made the mystery more actually interesting, and not just chosen like that's the other thing. Why the fuck did they choose a wasp? Like they could have made it any creature.
Just
They
a
just
cool
happened
title,
to choose
mate.
a wasp. Maybe because she wrote a wasp thing, which is what they hint at the end. I don't know, but
But
it's
I
just
did.
goofy and dumb.
I did actually think that the Doctor and Agatha dynamic, like in a couple of their scenes when they were working together, I thought was pretty good.
It was fun.
I did like that. I wish her character had a bit more initiative because they also paint her to be like really self-conscious and like unsure of herself, which I feel like is weird.
Yeah.
But as
Well,
creators,
feel
I
like
kind of get it.
It's not
To be
bad
fair,
that they do that, but
as like a
No, I
creator,
mean, I
do you know what I mean?
understand why they do it, but I feel like the way they portray it, it just doesn't really fit too well with what they're trying to do. So I don't know. I feel like what I'm trying to say is it very easily could have been a higher rating, but it's a 6 as it stands.
Yeah.
Maybe if they'd done the alternate ending that Aiden said, I would have bumped it up.
Oh my god. Sorry. Before we get into Connor's rating, I just read... I don't know whether it's funny or fucked up, actually. I think it's funny because it's Russell. I don't know. Okay. So, controversial here. Gonna get a bit controversial for a second, alright?
No.
So...
Oh dear.
There is an Agatha Christie book, and it has a not very good name.
Uh-oh.
It's a really fucking bad name.
Are you scared to
It's
say it?
It's called 10 Little... I'm just going to say Nippers.
Jesus.
Oh my word. I was going to
Yeah.
say, is the M word in the title? Jesus.
No.
Yeah, so it's bad, and that shit's not funny at all. That's like fucked up.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Russell...
It's kind of a little bit funny, but...
Well, no.
Sorry.
What gives you like a mild chuckle is Russell
Okay.
in early drafts wrote a reference because him and Gareth were trying to add as many references to Agatha Christie books as possible. They tried to reference this book, and Davies wrote it in, and then he like took it out like straight away. He was like, "That's fucked."
Wow.
Christ, I'm looking at
Where
the
at
book
one
right
point,
now.
Donna says, "It's like 10 little," and then the Doctor cuts her off, and he's like, "Niggles aside, we better look into the library."
Oh! No way.
What does
Jeez, yeah.
Niggles even mean? Niggles. Niggles aside.
Wow, I don't know.
Jeez, yeah, I'm looking at the book now on Google. Christ.
Yeah, it's not good
That's
art, is it?
crazy.
It's
Not-
fucked up, actually.
Not really at all. Jesus.
Wow.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my god.
Yeah, it's not great. Christ, I had no idea.
That's crazy.
Fuck.
Who knew Agatha Christie was a racist?
Wow.
Nah, the more you know,
Oh my
you know.
god.
I say that without knowing too much about her, but just looking at that title makes you think that way a bit.
Christ.
Jesus
What the hell?
Christ.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for it. It says the book is the world's best-selling mystery, and with over 100 million copies sold, is one of the best-selling books of all time.
Oh my god.
Publications International lists the novel as the 6th best-selling title. That is insane.
That is fucked.
Wow. Agatha getting cancelled in bloody 2021.
Honestly.
Dead.
Jeez, she should have gone away for more than 10 days, Agatha.
It's like on that note, episode gets a 0.
She's like, just before she goes away for 10 days, she's like, I'm going to take a break from social media to reflect and to
and she'll
think
upload
on
a
what I've
YouTube
done.
apology.
Yeah.
Another I'm sorry
Jesus
video.
Christ.
So, Connor, give us your rating for the
Okay.
Unicorn and the Wasp.
So yeah, I was bored like you blokes, but I like the wacky directing style and the wacky writing as much as we can't enjoy Gareth Roberts anymore. And I thought the cast was really fun, and Doctor and Donna is great as normal. And again, I can't remember who I said this to, but I said the other day I was like, this episode's just unique. Like it stands out on its own. I'm gonna give it a 6. Like damn, I think it deserves it. It's fun. It's really far from great, but yeah, I plan to give it a 6. Dan happened to give it a 6 as well, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, on to you, Aiden.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright. Well, I think I enjoyed it just from the sounds of talking the least out of the three of us.
Yeah.
And I did go into it with a bit of like, there was part of me that was like, oh, I never enjoyed this one as a kid, but there was part of me that was like, yeah, I enjoyed Knives Out, so maybe I like this one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think in terms of how it was written as a mystery, it was like shithouse. Like there was no way of being able to deduct that stuff, and I think it tried to be smarter than it was. I think there's some weird moments. I got to say, I don't think there was some good David Catherine moments in it, but I don't know. Something just felt weirdly a little bit off for me this episode. I don't know why. And just throughout the whole episode,
That's
I
fair,
felt
man.
it. Maybe I was in a weird mood this set when I'm watching it. I don't know, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think Gareth had some. Sorry, Graham Harper had some great direction. I think Gareth Roberts had a shit script, and David's just always great. And the supporting cast, some were good, some were eh. So for that, this is big for me. I don't like giving episodes under a 5 because for me, 5 is like that. It means the episode works, and so I very rarely give it under a 5 because that's when it's like there is something fundamentally wrong with the episode. And I was going to give it a little higher than this, but just on reflection, and just with that, the script just to me doesn't work. It's getting a 4.5.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Dun dun dun. I've been generous this season, but 4.5.
Damn.
Wasn't expecting that one.
That's wild, man. Hey, you are evil and you hate Doctor Who, it seems like.
Yeah,
That's
Aiden, just
it.
quit the
Nah, it's just 'cause
podcast.
Agatha Christie's a racist.
Aiden, you suck. I want to say.
I do suck.
Aiden's like,
Well, you know what's
deducting
crazy?
points.
I'm looking at Wikipedia right now, and there was a adaptation of that book. Let's call it 10 Little Nuggets.
Christ.
That aired on BBC One
Oh my.
in 2015.
Oh my god.
That it wasn't called that. It was called And Then There Were None, which was the
Yeah, so I
sort
saw
of
it got renamed.
rebrand of the book.
Yeah.
It has Charles Dance in it, as well as Sam Neill.
Jesus.
And a couple of other like quite big actors. It's pretty crazy.
That
Christ.
is crazy. That is bizarre.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
So I guess and it got critically acclaimed. So
Well,
hey, who am I to say?
Can I quickly ask one question before we wrap up, Dan? I want to ask
Yeah.
you live on the show.
Go ahead.
If you don't have an answer, that's fine. But of course, you're not going to come on until Moffat's run, which is going to be Matt's era. What episode do you think you want to come on for next season?
Oh yeah.
What tickles your fancy from season 5?
Season 5. Yeah, I was thinking about this, and I was kind of like, Oh, wait. Surely, by the way. Hold on. Technically, there's the specials.
Yeah, but sorry, I think me and Aiden have we've kind of secured those for just us. Sorry.
Oh, surely
A
end
few
of time
people
part
have asked.
1 only.
I don't
Part
think
one
so.
only.
I don't think so. I'm sorry. People have asked.
Only part 1.
People have, yeah, literally. We're like, all right, we literally review them in every 2-parter review in one episode. Okay. Sorry.
You can come on
we-
for about 30 minutes of the episode, and then
Yeah, and they were
fuck
like,
off.
Dan, get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
no,
I don't
fuck
care
off.
what you think about part 2. Get out. Like, it's like,
I don't care about the good part. Just the crap part.
sorry. I think
okay,
it's
Series
just,
5.
yeah.
I've got to say, yeah, off the top of my head, the worst of Series 5. I mean, there are some bangers I'd love to come on. Obviously, 11th Hour is great. Amy's Choice is great. Vincent the Doctor's great.
Bangers, hey.
Is the Lodger Series 5? Yeah, I think the Lodger
Yeah.
Series 5. That's
Oh,
great.
surely you do the Lodger. That'd be so funny.
I think Lodger's a good
I
one
would love
for
to
you.
come on the Lodger.
Yeah, come on,
I
do
think
that.
that would probably be a good one
Yeah,
for me to come
James
on.
Corden, man.
I'm happy to do the Lodger, but I will say if we were going to be consistent with me coming on the crap ones, I would probably have to come on with
Beast
what's
Below.
it called? Cold Blooded, or the one with the
Chibnall's.
the lizards.
Cold
I
Blood,
don't think
Hungry
they're that
Earth.
bad, is it?
That I agree. I don't think they're that bad. I would say that Beast Below is one of the worst of the season.
No,
I
I
actually
think
like
Beast
it.
Below's
Victory of the
not
Daleks.
great.
Yeah, so Dylan messaged me
Oh,
today.
that one.
ship survived.
I think
That
Dylan
one
might
is
come on for
just
that one.
ludicrous.
I think Dylan said to me
Okay.
today he wanted
Cool.
Victory, so I think Victory is taken.
Cool.
but yeah, no,
But yeah.
I'll take the Lodger any day of the week. Yeah,
Sweet.
fuck yeah, why not?
Fuck
All
yeah.
right.
Or fucking Vampires of Venice. That's another
Oh,
one.
that's a good one.
That's
That's a good
banger.
one I loved as a kid and
Rory
gonna hate as an
Stagg.
adult.
I love it.
I love it.
I'm so keen for something like that. It's so silly and I love it.
Moffat's gonna
Fantastic.
kill it. It's
Fantastic.
weird that we're gonna get to his era soon. I honestly can't believe it, but yeah, we're getting there.
I'm so excited. Anyways, that's
excited.
episode 40
Well,
of
I'm
our show,
excited.
folks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
40
you.
episodes.
Thank you guys
Dan,
for having
hit us
me,
with
and
our
thank you,
applause.
audience, for watching.
Dan, hit the
40
applause, please.
episodes.
Thank you.
Thank you to our 1,000. We reached 1,000 listeners. That was great.
We did. It really made me feel great about this show. So thank you so much, everyone. I was so gassed last night when I found out. I was literally so happy. So thank you so much for 1,000 views on this show.
Yeah, it was great. And it
Good job,
for once,
everybody.
because my mom follows our Instagram account.
She does.
At 50 Doctor. Connor's running it. And she saw that, and because she always asks how many views, and I'm like, look, I'm a humble man. This is what I say every time. I have like a rehearsed speech where I'm like,
Stay
look, I'm a
humble.
humble man. I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah, she did like it. I
purely-
saw.
Purely because I don't want to go into our silly Doctor Who chats with her.
Of course.
And then she saw that, and she was like, for once, like excited about the show.
Legit.
like,
Yeah, she follows us, and she was like,
fucking sweet.
"Damn." I don't know. I haven't told my parents yet, but my parents literally ask all the time, like, "Okay, 1K is a pretty alright number to make it sound like I'm not just wasting my time talking to a microphone, like, you know." So it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't
So,
told them yet.
Fantastic, lads. I'm very happy and
Yeah,
proud
thanks
of
for
you.
joining us, Dan. I feel like that was our
Yeah.
best episode we recorded together. We had a good time. I think we all did.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
thanks
like
for having me.
when the internet worked, it was good.
Well, I had a few. Have you guys been smashing the beers tonight? Because I smashed a few beers, so it kind of helped.
I'm like a
Couple, yeah.
6-pack down, I think.
Yeah, I've had a few, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Always helps.
I love to hear it, boys.
Thanks, guys.
Easy.
Thanks for tuning in.
Aye.
Thanks for 1K views. We love you all. Thank you so much. We'll
Thank you
always love
guys. Take care.
Love you all. Talk to me on Twitter at 50 Doctor because I'm lonely. Bye. Oh wait, we need to
Aiden,
sing.
Aiden, we need to sing. Christ.
Forgot.
All right,
I'm so
hang
sorry.
on.
Dan, do you know the words yet?
You sure?
All right, you
Sweet.
ready, Dan?
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right, and a 1 and a 2 and a skiddly diddly doo. It's Aiden and Connor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews. Doctor Who reviews.
We Pating.
The best monster. Do any of you guys have the Vespa form toys?